Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today I'm going to do the BookTube Real Talk tag. I feel like there was a point a couple of weeks ago where like everyone was doing this tag, and I totally missed out on that. So I'm doing it now. I was tagged in this by Mary from With Cinnamon Please, who's like Miss Congeniality of BookTube. She's like the nicest, best person. So if you haven't checked out her channel, I will leave her video down below and you should totally have a look. This tag was originally created by Books with Alyssa J, so I will leave her video down below as well. So these are all questions about BookTube and kind of starting BookTube and BookTube opinions and all of this good stuff. So I'm just gonna dive right in. And the first question is, what is something no one told you about BookTube before you started your channel? So I would say that I don't think I quite anticipated how much work a BookTube channel would be, because I started this channel about a year after I had started blogging. And at that particular point in time, I was posting about 6 days a week, which was kind of outrageous and slightly ridiculous. And so I was like, BookTube, I can post like 2 videos a week and people will watch it and that'll be great and it'll be easy. And it's not. It's really not. There's so much work that goes into these videos, and I think that the reason you see a lot of people kind of going on hiatus or, you know, deciding to change up their channel content if they've been doing it for, you know, 7, 8 years is because it's hard. It's really hard, and it's hard to come up with fresh and creative content, and the fact that, you know, the old standbys like book hauls and wrap-up videos and TBRs are kind of the go-tos for viewers, but everyone says they're tired of those videos, but those are the videos that everyone watches. And so there's a lot of frustration that you have to kind of like get to grips with, and also it's just really, really hard work. So I think that I might have been deterred by that if I had realized how much work it was going to be, but I'm really, really glad that I've kind of gotten to grips with the channel and that I am, you know, doing some fun things, and I would like to do more kind of slightly more creative stuff and maybe showing off books that aren't necessarily just new releases, but we'll get there eventually. But I feel like I'm getting there now. That's a really long answer to that question. Okay, so I got slightly ahead of myself in that question. The next one is, what is your opinion on typical BookTube videos like hauls and wrap-ups? Personally, I really like them. They're a pain in the ass to film, especially book hauls, because if you've seen any of my book hauls, you see that I haul a lot of books because I have a very small buying problem. But I enjoy them. I enjoy watching them. They're actually my favorite things to watch is hauls, wrap-ups, and TBRs. Just because I feel like they're for me the videos that feel the most kind of natural. I feel like there's a lot of times, and this is like no shade on anyone, but I feel like when you get a lot of videos from people that aren't reading wrap-ups and that aren't book hauls and stuff like that, it kind of feels like they're not necessarily reading, and that's not really what I'm interested in. I'm interested in seeing what you're reading, what you are excited about, like the new releases that you're excited about, the old standbys that you're excited about, and those are the kinds of things that I want to see. So I'm totally cool with those videos, and I actually really like those videos, and they're the ones that do the best for me, so, you know, I can't really complain. The next question is, what is an assumption you had about BookTube before you joined? Was it proven correct or no? Let's have a think. Okay, so this is kind of a hard one because I did not watch BookTube before I got started. It just sounded like a fun thing to do, and then I was like, oh shit, I have to actually watch YouTube now. And like, my friends make fun of me all the time because they'll like send me a video and I won't watch it because for some reason like watching videos is too much effort for me. So for a long time I just didn't ever watch videos. I never watched YouTube. I didn't even know you could create an account on YouTube. And so when my friends found out that I did create a YouTube channel, they were like, are you joking? Are you actually gonna watch the videos that I send? And no, the answer is no. But I think that my assumption with BookTube, which is true to an extent, but is not an across-the-board thing, is that booktubers really only read new releases, and that's not really true. It is to an extent, and you get with especially really big booktubers, it's all about the new releases, and that's the kind of thing that gets people hyped. That's the kind of thing that, you know, audiences want to see. And I go to major booktubers for all of my new releases. A good number of the new US press releases that I buy and that I'm excited to read are because of BookTube. But there are a lot of people who do things like library book hauls that only read backlists, that only read, you know, certain genres. So there are literary fiction booktubers, there are sci-fi and fantasy booktubers, obviously, there are horror booktubers, there are again booktubers who only read library books. There's so much variety, and I feel like it's easy to forget about that because when you do have kind of these major channels being really, really visible, and again, I watch a fair number of these major channels, I think that it's easy to assume that everyone is the same, and I don't think that's really fair. The next question is, what is something you've done that has helped you grow your audience? I'm really bad at this. I'm really, really bad at this because I can really only focus on one social media platform at a time. So right now it's kind of Instagram. So I've let everything else kind of fall by the wayside, but I'm kind of moving back to YouTube with this. It's commenting, it's interaction, it's liking and watching other people's videos and leaving a comment, which is like, obviously, like, duh, but it really, really does help put you into the algorithms and helps people discover you. And so I've been really lazy with that a lot, but I've noticed that if I go and watch at least a couple of BookTube videos a day and I always comment on them, then, you know, my numbers will go up. And also, like, you know, posting on Twitter and stuff like that, like reminders that videos have gone up. Like, it's just interaction, and, you know, you can hit an algorithm and, you know, gain a ton of followers at once, or you can not hit the algorithm. Funny enough, a lot of it is luck, I think. A lot of it is doing the right thing at the right time, but engagement is always, 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 always going to help. The next question is, what is a common mistake you see new booktubers make, or one that you have made? So I think there's a fair few, actually. I think the most important thing for starting a channel or starting any kind of platform, especially for BookTube, is just being yourself. And I know that it's like the thing that everyone says, but it's so true. People want to see the books, but they also want to see you. They want to see someone that they are interested in, someone that they feel like, you know, they're going to spend 15-20 minutes of their day watching a video from. So really being yourself is one. Don't try to imitate other people, which I did have a big problem with initially because I had, like, again, never watched YouTube before and suddenly found all of these booktubers and was like, okay, that's what I need to do. And that, you know, wasn't me. So I think that sort of finding what you want to do, finding yourself, and sort of creating the content that you want to create. So I really like book hauls and, you know, wrap-up videos and list videos and TBRs and things like that. So that's what I do. But there are tons of people who do, like, you know, really creative stuff like skits, or they recreate outfits from their favorite, you know, from their favorite characters and all of this stuff, which is not something that I personally would do because that's not my brain, but is really fun for other people and people have found success. So do your own thing, be yourself. Another big problem that I see is don't try to be a perfectionist. You know, if something is you know, slightly off in a video, you don't need to necessarily refilm it unless it's like the sound or something. Like, the visual and the sound are the most important thing, but, like, you know, it kills me to this day, but my second most viewed video, my hair is fucking atrocious. It's terrible and I, like, cringe every time, but it's got, like, you know, 1,600 views on it, so it's not like I can pull it down. So it's just kind of, you deal with it, you just deal with it. And, you know, if you truly hate something, then don't post it. But really, if you're striving for perfection, none of us are ever going to achieve that. So I think that the best thing that you can do is just upload, get used to uploading, figure out what works for you, and just go from there. The next question is, I think one that is meant to possibly spark controversy, is what are your thoughts on working with publishers and sponsorships? Go for it. Fucking do it. I wish someone would sponsor me. I really wish someone would sponsor me. It's amazing if you can do something like this, if you're passionate about it, and someone will pay you. That's awesome. That's the dream. So I have no problem with it whatsoever. I know that some people do think that it's maybe a little bit disingenuous, and I totally get that. I remember last year seeing a bunch of booktubers have sponsored videos around these, like, Disney books that are coming out. They're like the Twisted Tales or whatever. And I remember specifically the Hocus Pocus novelization. and, or novelization or sequel or something like that. It was a Hocus Pocus book, and like everyone was talking about it and being like, this video is sponsored, I got this book, it looks really fun, all of this. And then at the end of the year, without a doubt, that book was in everyone's most disappointing books of 2018 videos. So I initially was kind of like, that sucks. I feel like you said you liked that. And then I actually went back and found those videos and no one said that. So I think that it's really a matter of understanding that some people get paid to do this, and that's awesome, that's amazing, but you do have to take sponsored videos maybe with a grain of salt. If they haven't read the book yet, then they're not going to know if it's good or not, but they're just showing it on the screen, you know? So to me, that doesn't really, you know, matter at all, but it is something that I need to kind of like rein in a little bit, because I am very much affected by sponsored videos, and I'll see one and be like, ooh, that looks really good, without really knowing anything about it. So this last question is, do you think BookTube is dying? Which is a funny question, because from what I can recall, I don't think anyone has said that BookTube is dying. I think that this is kind of an older tag, so maybe this was a conversation that was happening at some point, but as far as I'm concerned, BookTube is thriving. I think that maybe the sort of faith and, you know, following of the huge channels is maybe coming down a little bit, and people are watching smaller booktubers maybe. So it's probably changing, but dying? No, I don't think so. I think BookTube is really important for publishers and for authors. So that is it for this tag. So this was really fun. I enjoyed this. I feel like, because like I'm always talking about books, I don't really talk about YouTube itself very much, and I don't really talk about this channel and my sort of journey with this channel very often, so I very much enjoyed this. In the comments down below, let me know if you agree with me on some of these, if you disagree with me. I'd love to kind of like chat, because I feel like this could be really interesting for discussion. I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.